Welcome to The Artist Matters. I'm Alex Rudy, and each week you will meet incredible artists from all walks of life. Filmmakers, writers, actors, painters, musicians, and so many more, sharing their stories to motivate and inspire the creative in you. Whether you're doing it for fun or looking to make a living, this show will help you on your journey to bring out the artist within and letting the world know that your art matters. Hi everybody, welcome to The Artist Matters. I'm your host Alex Rudy, and it's the week of the major holidays. Today is actually Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to those of you who celebrate Hanukkah. And of course, in a few days, it's Christmas, so Merry Christmas one and all. And after that is Kwanzaa. So, celebrate, enjoy, be festive. 'Tis the season. And of course, it's always the season, always the right time to bring in another guest. Hey, maybe you need to get some photography done during the holiday season. Well, today's guest is the one who can do it if you are in the Tampa area. Her name is Rina Alvarez. And funny enough, I met Rina at my day job at the clerk and comptroller's office. I'm a records clerk at the civil department desk, and she came in. She was being evicted, but she had enough proof and stuff to keep her where she's living right now. I don't know how the conversation turned to art, but it sure did, and I learned she was a photographer. Gave her my business card, and here we are with today's chat. She is based in Tampa, Florida, and does all kinds of great photography. She has a little specialty in boudoir photography. Really good, classy stuff, and done wedding photography. She does a lot of pregnancy announcement photos. They're beautiful. But she didn't get into photography until later. She actually suppressed that desire. As a teenager, she just felt that a photographer didn't fit in with the rest of the kids. So she did suppress it for a while. But some teachers who were friends crossed paths, and thus began her photogenic journey. From being inspired by her own son and taking tons of photos of him, to going to a friend's wedding and was just so interested in what the photographer was doing, finding inspiration in that, and building her own biz through Alvarez Photography. And there's so much more to that, so without further ado, let's get into this and enjoy my chat with Rina Alvarez. Welcome to the show, Rina Alvarez. Hi.
Hi.
She'll be one of many in the Civil Clerk series. Meaning I met her at my day job as a civil clerk. She came to my counter, and I don't know how we got on the topic of your photography.
It was Taco Thursday, and that was what it was. And I don't know how. It was just like the stars aligned, and it was...
Yes.
It was one of those fateful meetings. And it was like almost like in 2 minutes after I got there.
Yes, really.
Photography got brought up. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's why you must always bring your business cards with you, kids.
I know now.
Yes, you're always prepared. So, Rina, where did you grow up?
I was born in Tampa, Florida, in West Tampa, Seminole Heights, South Seminole Heights to be very specific. The house that I lived in, I lived across the street from my elementary school. My uncle lived up the street. My grandmother lived around the corner. She was my kindergarten teacher. Like, we know everyone. My parents met at Tampa Catholic. My dad and my grandmother went to Hillsborough High School. Like, we know everyone. I went into the West Tampa sandwich shop the other day to get a Cuban sandwich last week. Everyone was there. That was all my grandparents, my parents. I'm like, I had been in there a long time. All the waitresses, I'm like... It's a community. It is definitely a community.
So you definitely couldn't play hooky if you lived across from the school. Well,
They all no. I was only there until second grade, and then we moved to Ohio.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was a culture shock because we had always called our aunts and uncles. They speak Spanglish; it's not full Spanish, but we called our aunts and uncles like Theo and Thea. So when we went up there and someone said aunt, I thought they meant a bug, and it was. They're like, you're from Florida, and it was just it was crazy, but it was a culture shock.
Now, was there any creative spark going on you during these early years? Was it?
Yes.
Was it painting? Was it painting that started?
It was painting. I started off painting. My parents put me in I don't even know how this came about. I even remember the plaza that it was in. I was 5. That's the date on the back of the painting. And I was in an adult painting class with these grown-ups, and I was out doing all of them. Apparently, my mom has all of these paintings. The puppy is the worst one. I could never do fur. It was so ugly, and she displays it proudly in her living room. God bless her. My mom, stop. And they're everywhere. It's ridiculous. But my only memory of that was I thought I had a Sprite because that was my time to have a soda. I had a green Sprite, and the cup that we washed the brushes out with while we were following the instructor was green also. And because I was only 5, I was looking at the instructor, and I picked up the cup washing brush, and it had, water and paint in it. And it was green. So I went to take a sip, and everybody flipped out. I remember, and they scared me because they put me up on the counter, and they thought they saw paint chips in my mouth.
Oh my God.
They scared the living bejesus out of me. And that's the only thing I remember from that, besides my mom framing the painting, the mountain painting for my dad. And the teacher had to sign my name because I couldn't even write my name with the paintbrush. But when we moved to Ohio, I was in second grade in the middle of the school year, and they said we had to illustrate the book report that we just did. So I was doing the Trumpet of the Swan, and I drew a swan, and the teacher was like, you didn't do this. Your parents must have. And I'm like, no. She called me a liar, and I just always could draw. So
wow.
I haven't done it in a long time. I would sketch every now and then and take art classes and stuff. But
now, so did you have a sketch pad with you as a kid?
I used to. I used to for a long time. I would occasionally do that. Like boyfriends in high school, I would sketch them. I learned how to draw certain things. I used to draw Pinky and the Brain, like amazing. Like just for some reason, the brain was like my favorite thing to draw. I don't know why. But I would do just the same thing over and over again. I didn't really take art in like junior high or anything.
Why not?
I didn't take art class until senior year in high school, and I loved it. I actually I do with the sketch. What is it? Scratchboard. I did.
What's that?
A scratchboard. It's they paint. You can paint a background, and then they put like this chalk painting over it. I'm not sure what kind of texture, and you can scratch out with this special tool, like the hashtag of the it looks like little whatever, however you want to make it. Okay. The art of it, I have it somewhere. I did The Nightmare Before Christmas with Jack Skellington on the thing. It was black and white. And then I did Seal, the singer Seal, his album cover of him like bent over with his arms out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did that one. I actually won a prize for it, or I won an award when I was a senior. But
wow,
I was on yearbook staff, and I really, really wanted to learn how to do photos, but the cool kids, I was so concerned with being socially accepted that I didn't say anything. So I always had those like throwaway cameras, those Kodak one-time use cameras. Those were, we still had a dark room at the school. Digital was not a thing. This was 1998, 1999.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there was no digital.
I just told my age. But everybody wanted to be on yearbook staff because the teacher was one of the coolest people in the world. But nobody wanted to be the photographer, or nobody wanted to be like the morning announcement person or make the videos because they were nerds. And so it was like socially not acceptable. So I didn't even try. I never spoke up. I wanted to so badly. But I just didn't do it. And I graduated from that high school. We had the graduation ceremony. I saw my parents and my sisters. My dad came up from Florida with my stepmom. Right after the ceremony ended, he handed me $50. He said, if you get a hangover, it's not my problem. And I went off, partied it up with my friends. I know it was illegal drinking, but whatever. We had a great time. And I had my bags packed already because I was going back with my dad. I'm not staying in Ohio. And I was hungover, very hungover, sitting on my mom's porch in the morning with my suitcase waiting for my dad to come back from lunch. I slept in the back of his truck until Atlanta from Dayton, Ohio.
Whoa.
Because I was that hungover. Yeah.
That's a long journey.
That was. It was windy. It was nice. It was June. It was early June. So it was fine.
Well, actually, yes. I'm interested in that suppressed artistic desire. Mm-hmm. You know, why? How come so many of us do that? You think like you wanted to do photography, you didn't think it was cool, but you know, it's something I just can't figure out. That as we evolve through time, these things never change in us. I don't
unless you focus on it and change it. Right now, I don't care what anyone thinks of me. Okay, I am overly critical of my own art, and I also won't put out anything that does not have my seal of approval. That I will say, yes, I took that photo. But back then in high school, you want to be socially accepted. People are bullies. You don't want to do the wrong thing. People are mean. They're so mean. Kids are mean.
I mean, you have children that are going to be teenagers in a few years. And stuff.
I have. They're 9 and 11, and I've already coached. Oh, all the neighborhood kids know me. All the parents know me. I have all their phone numbers. I don't put up a bullying. I will walk over to your house and embarrass you. Okay, I am that Spanish mother. Do not.
How you deal with me?
My kids know better. We've gone over this several times.
Good.
So I regret not speaking up because there's a few people from high school that I still talk to all the time.
Right.
They were my best friend. I was on dance team, you know.
I did dance.
All that stuff. I went to all the parties, blah, blah, but it's most of them that I thought that their opinion of me was important. They don't even exist to me anymore. Like, I can't remember most of their names.
Yeah.
So, and that's hard to convey to a teenager or someone younger. Like, don't do something for other people. Do it for yourself. That's like the most important thing. That took me a very long time to learn. Very, very long time to learn.
Same here.
Yeah. That's the whole self-aware thing is pretty good feeling. But what you have to go through to get to that is sometimes very taxing.
Very true. Well, we come through it somehow, and you made your way back to Florida. Now,
thank goodness. Hallelujah.
So when you come back with that, is photography starting to enter your life once you come back here? Or are you doing anything else in the arts when you come back?
No, not at the time. It took me a few years, and then I don't think I really got into it. Well, I'm sorry. I take it back. When I was 19, this is a terrible story, and one of my friends will listen to this, and she'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There was a grocery store up the street from my house, and we were teenagers. We didn't keep jobs that were worth a crap. We would go to dance parties and raves on the beach, but I was obsessed with documenting everything. So we would walk in. There's a grocery store that had 2 doors, one in the front, one on the side, and you had like a bank by the side door. So she would park on the side on one of the open parking spots, and we would come in through the side door, and the aisle of disposable cameras was there. So we would pretend we were looking for something, and then we would snatch handfuls of them and just tear out of the grocery store. I know it was horrible, but I had a shoebox filled with these because I couldn't afford to even get them developed. I was 19. I was just having a ball. I documented everything. I bet you she still has every single one of those photos. She was my first roommate when I actually got my own place as an adult and didn't live with my parents. But that was such a fun time. We were just carefree, doing whatever. I mean, we had a ball. I honestly don't know how we didn't get arrested and or died or something. Like, we were doing horrible things, but it was also not the digital age without social media. So yeah, it was undocumented, but technically there's a shoebox of photos out there that have been developed but where there is evidence. It's so bad, but it's so much fun. It was so much fun. I was obsessed with just, let's take pictures of